Hey, human family, how are you? It's Darren. Welcome to another episode of Fully Alive Again. You guys, today I want you to grab a cup of coffee or whatever beverage you're drinking this time of day and lay back and let's have a chat. Let's do what we do and dive deep.
No tears, no fears. Fully alive again after these years.
Cornel West stated, "There is a price to pay for speaking the truth. There is a bigger price to pay for living a lie." That is really good stuff. So much so I'm going to say it again and let this marinate. There is a price to pay for speaking the truth. There is a bigger price to pay for living a lie. Plato stated, "You should not honor men more than the truth." You see, what should we value and honor more than truth? Should we value a narcissist over truth? Should we value our image over truth? Should we value our religion, our political affiliation, our ethnicities, our cultures over truth? What is more valuable than truth? The main objective of a narcissist is the avoidance of truth. This starts to impact us. One of the greatest gifts that this type of abuse gave me, and it was the most painful, it almost ended me, was the ability to really take a look at who I am as a man and what I did or did not do throughout my life. And one of the hardest truths that I had to face, and I'm being very candid here, was the truth that I failed my daughter because I did not see what her mother was. And it almost killed me. For 2 years, I felt worthless and useless because a father's number one job in this world is to protect his children and to protect his daughter. And I failed. And to me, that was the worst thing that I could have ever done. And the narcissist knew that. And she was able to do what she did to my daughter because I didn't see who and what she was. If I didn't find out that my ex was a narcissist and all of the wicked things she had been doing until after we were divorced, if she would have done just one of the things, the numerous things that she did, and I was aware of it, I would have divorced her in a heartbeat, and I would have literally taken my daughter and left the country. Now, don't get me wrong. I knew there was something off about my ex. I tried to leave her at least 7 times. I moved across the country with the family, constantly thinking and trying to plan an escape route. It's very bizarre how crazy we get when we're in a relationship with one of these people. Now, was I a perfect husband? Absolutely not. But I wasn't even 1% of the dysfunction of this woman. This woman was doing things behind my back to my daughter and living several different lives that it was stunning to find this out after our marriage. It was shocking, even knowing that there was something off about her. And if we're honest with ourselves, when we look back on our relationship with the narcissist, we know there were warning signs, but for whatever reason, we didn't adhere to them. We may have tried, but we got sucked back in. I didn't really like my wife after the first 5 years. She put on, the love bombing and was playing the perfect wife for the first 5 years. But after that, her energy was just so unappealing that I knew there was something about her that just wasn't right. And this is how ignorant I was. I still had a kid with her, thinking that that would change who she was and change the dynamics of our relationship. Now, talking about truth today, my biggest truth that I had to face after a narcissist relationship was how I failed my daughter as a father. This was crippling. It has me scarred for life. I couldn't even say these words for the first 4 years after my divorce. A father is supposed to protect his children, especially his daughter. And I failed at that. I did not see just what an evil monster her mother's is. And if you've ever listened to or read a book about what narcissist mothers do to their children, you will easily see why I wanted to end this woman's life. Most of my umbrage came from what she was doing to my daughter, more so than what she had done to me. And what she did to me was horrific. But what she did to my daughter was unimaginable. Prayer, some words of wisdom from those around me, and knowing that my daughter believed her mother was a good mommy and the only mommy she knew, and the way that the narcissists groom their children to base their entire identity and life on the narcissist parent, I knew if I took her out, that my daughter would be destroyed. That was the number one reason I did not end this woman's life. That is how bad the things that she did to my daughter was. But my truth that I had to face was to face that I failed as a father. I did not see the angles of her mother being that wicked and evil. I knew there was something wrong with her. I was whittled away by her, and I was constantly traveling for business and trying to build the business, and thought my daughter, being a girl, was in good hands with her mother and that I could turn my attentions elsewhere. And that had catastrophic results. I should have never taken my attention away from my daughter. And when I noticed that she was starting to change, and I did, I should have never I should have never accepted the lies that her mother was telling me about why my daughter was becoming a shell of a person and having anxieties and not able to build friends with anyone and be a normal, happy young girl. That is a truth that I had to face, that I failed as a father. And it broke me, and it should have. I share this today because often we prevaricate around the truth. Was it my fault that my daughter was abused by her mother emotionally in every way that you can think of, and ways that I won't even say on this podcast? In my opinion, yes, because I am the father. I'm not saying that shoe fits with you. No, I didn't know that my ex was a monster, but I was still daddy. And whatever the good Lord has to punish me for that, I accept, because I failed my little girl. And the narcissist knew that that was the greatest pain she could ever do to me, was to destroy my daughter and destroy my relationship with her. That's how evil these people are. I had to accept the truth that she was the ugliest, nastiest, vulgar human being I had ever encountered. I am telling you this truth to let you know that I hurt just like everybody else. I come across and I share with you a side of me that is real, that is very confident, very focused, very determined, very strong. And that person is very real. But there's another half to me, another part rather, that has been destroyed for life. My heart has a hole in it. The reason I am telling you this truth is so you understand that it is possible to become fully alive again, to get through the devastation that you have gone through, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, even with the most horrific circumstances. I know your story is similar, maybe worse, parallel, whatever it is. I know how much that destroyed you. I want to tell you, I am sorry that happened to you. But my concern is that you build the skills, the strength to move forward with your life. Each of us has sentient human beings, and many of us are empaths. We don't need to learn how to love and how to have compassion. We don't need to learn how to be more nice and congenial. What we need to learn is strength, fortitude, high levels of self-worth, to value ourselves, confidence, the ability to build stronger boundaries. Those are the skill sets that we need. Those are the skill sets that I try to drive home. Please don't ever misconstrue what I'm doing. I don't ever want you to lose your beautiful heart, your kindness, and your love. What I want you to be able to do is to be a warrior, a soldier, and protect it, and choose who to allow access to it, and to protect yourself and those you love as best as you can, and to adhere to the boundaries that you set and never fear another human being, whether they're a narcissist or not. But the truth is, everyone is hurting. Some people hide it better than others. No matter what I'm telling you on this channel, don't ever forget that I'm hurting too. We have to learn how to compartmentalize the hurt. Because if we don't, the narcissist wins. Their goal was to take away our laughter, to take away our kindness, to take away our love, to take away our ability to live and be sentient human beings. My goal, my purpose in life, whether it's one listener or 5 million listeners, is to empower who's ever listening and help them bring their self-worth, their confidence, their love and kindness back to the level that it was, and protect it like a soldier, like a warrior, and never be a doormat for anybody or anything. And to be able to do that, you have to look at your truth. What type of skills do you need to build? What type of person do you need to become? Where are the deficits? And forgive yourself for the mistakes. That was one of the most formidable things I had to do, was to forgive myself for failing my daughter. I don't really know if I'm all the way there. And for you narcissists, I'm going to use that to break him or hurt him. Good luck with that. I don't share anything that I can't handle on these airwaves. You think you know me because of this show, you don't. So, knowing what happened with my daughter and knowing how that impacted me, hopefully that gives you the understanding that as a sentient human being, you are a child of God. You are more powerful than what any vulgar human being can do. From the day we are born, we are in a battle between good and evil, and you can't pretend that that doesn't exist in a world full of predators. People who tell you that human beings aren't in a constant war against good and evil are liars, are ignorant. I stand by that. That's a firm opinion. It doesn't mean that we're paranoid and that it's a fine line, it's a paradox there, but it does mean that we build the skill sets and the confidence and the self-worth, so when that war comes knocking on our door, we are prepared for it. And we don't prepare ourselves, our children, or other human beings in the world for this. And that's what I'm trying to convey with this channel. See, you didn't know about the war. That's why we were blindsided. If you knew you were in a world between good and evil, the narcissist could have never got into you, could have never done the things they did to you. But we didn't know. We read the wrong books. We were educated with a lot of the wrong information. But now we know. So the question is, are you listening to this show and other shows like this to become more kind, to become more friendly, to be more nice and congenial? Or are you listening to this show to increase your power, your resiliency, your happiness, your laughter, and your self-worth? Be honest with yourself. Be truthful with yourself. Why are you listening to programs? And that will open up a door. And it's all right if you're listening just to mollify the pain. I spent years trying to mollify the pain. I just listened to YouTube channels just to ease the inner conflict that was going on inside me. But then there comes a day and time where you have to be honest with yourself and say, why am I here? What do I want to get out of this, and how can I get it? And that truth will open up corridors of opportunity. The truth is the most powerful resource we have. That's why all the mythological stories, all the mystics across the world and across every religion talk about truth. It's not that we never lie. It's not that we're walking around as some swell guy or a perfect little angel. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to lie. We're not perfect. Please don't misconstrue that. That's what I'm saying. I believe those metaphors, those stories from the mystics and great teachers and wisdom kings across the globe speaking about truth was because when we face our own truth, it illuminates an understanding about ourselves. And that understanding works miracles. Truth is the most powerful thing we can have about ourselves. That's why I shared this truth with you today. It's a truth on the way that I see the world. Some people say, no, Darren, that wasn't your fault. You didn't see or know what she was. How could you defend it? But my own personal constitution of who I am and who I always was, as a father with a little girl, I cannot accept that I did not fail her, because I did. That is my reality. I have overcome that to the best of my ability in this day and age, at this particular time in my life. There was a time when I couldn't look in the mirror because of that. I understand it. I accept it, and I have forgiven myself, and I'm in alignment with God and understanding who I am, and in alignment with the universal laws and principles. I get it. I've forgiven myself. I cannot forgive anyone that intentionally hurts a child. That's part of my constitution. I don't hold umbrage. I don't want to go yank her out of her car and beat her like she's a grown man who stole something and did the things that she did to my daughter. I don't want to treat her like a grown man anymore that violated my daughter in so many ways. I think she's repugnant. I have no kind of understanding or compassion for a person that victimizes a child. Nothing is going to convince me to do that. That's not going to happen in this lifetime. It's just not part of my constitution. And this is where I part paths with a lot of psychology and religious dogma. The umbrage is gone. I can think. I am clear. But the forgiveness just isn't there, nor will it ever be. I hope that makes sense. And that is me being very honest. I could come here and say the things that are in accordance with what you want to hear and what you're used to hearing about forgiveness and about a lot of other things that I speak about on this channel. But my goal, again, is to empower us through truth, not through dogma, not through $500 words, not through word salads, not through look at how impressive I am with this, that, or the other, just with 100% layman truths. And if I am wrong, which I would believe I certainly am in some areas because I'm human, my mind is open. If you have something to teach, I am willing to learn. I love growing. I love expanding myself. All right, you guys, I appreciate you stopping by and having this chat, this chat rant, I guess you would call it. I've got nothing but love for you guys. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so now. And always remember, it's better to be destroyed, tricked, and deceived, to have your soul crushed by a narcissist, to be annihilated, laying on the floor, broken by a narcissist, than to be a narcissist. I firmly believe that. These people are rotten to the core. Just think of what they've done to you and the stories that you've heard about what they've done to other people. Would you really want to trade places with them and be that? Absolutely not. That's why I end my show with this. So you stand proud in being a sentient human being and don't let these narcissist ass clowns defeat your self-worth and who and what you really are. All right, you guys. God bless, and I'll catch you on the next video. Until then, peace. Be well.